Coming up on OU Nightly, why some say a new arena could hurt Norman Public Schools. And today is National Voter Registration Day. Find out how you can get registered. And Sean Diddy Combs is arrested. The latest on the charges he is facing. This is OU Nightly.
Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Sophia Cabrera.
And I'm Chewy Dominguez. We begin tonight with another public hearing where the Norman City Council will vote to approve the proposed entertainment district TIF. The arena would be built east of I-30.
And taxpayers, though, say they have concerns over how this project will be funded. We find OU Nightly's Abigail Franklin live outside City Hall ahead of the vote. Abigail.
Yeah, a lot of concerns ahead of tonight's meeting. The meeting will have a public hearing first, which will then be followed by a city council vote. The biggest issue with tonight's meeting is the TIF district, which is collecting taxpayer dollars to fund the new arena and entertainment build, which is leaving a lot of taxpayers unhappy. A full house is expected tonight as city council will vote on the hottest topic in Norman.
The anchor characteristic of the proposal is a new arena. So that's what it all kind of centers around. And as complicated as the deal is, like many things that have to do with local public finance, it really just kind of comes down to costs and benefits.
The TIF district plan would authorize up to $600 million in public dollar spending. And the estimated amount needed to finance the project, $541 million.
And that's just one scenario that everything gets built as promised on time. That never happens. Costs always go up. There are always delays.
Concerns have continued to grow over the amount of tax dollar collection that would fund the project. But now, Norman taxpayers worry the city reports show the project will not collect enough to cover financing, and the project could even divert funding from Norman Public Schools.
The part about it being good for the city taxpayer or the city's economic development, that's the part that just doesn't hold any water.
Norman Public Schools sent a letter to the School Board of Education saying the proposed TIF is not expected to have material impact on the district's funding.
There's no SEC school that has used a TIF to build an arena.
Now, tonight's meeting will begin at 6:30, and those opposing the TIF say they will have a plan in place if it gets approved. Live at Norman City Hall, Abigail Franklin, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Abigail. Women in Action for All of Norman held a petition carry training last night ahead of tonight's City Council public hearing for the proposed TIF district to fund the arena. Taxpayers have raised many concerns regarding the proposed TIF as it would be funded by taxpayer dollars.
Many Norman citizens have asked for this topic to be taken to a public vote since the beginning of the project planning. Oklahoma had the procedure for when citizens went to bring an item like the TIF district to a public vote.
We have the problem with the TIF itself, which is going to be very costly over 25 years for Norman. Even if that plat is approved, I would certainly hope that the money part of it or the TIF part is not, because I feel it will damage Norman drastically.
The council member will decide tonight if they will approve the district to the the second public hearing tonight at the City Hall taxpayer last week. Signatures to get this topic to be on the vote tonight.
And we've been experiencing some sniffles, sneezes, and sun recently.
Yeah, that's right. Let's hear from our meteorologist, Aiden Bruns, on how we can fight the heat and allergies. Aiden?
You guys are absolutely right. I've seen a lot of congestion, heard some sniffling and some sneezing across campus, and the allergies are not going anywhere quite yet, and the hot temperatures as well. Right now in Norman, we're at 88 degrees. Temperatures across the state, they're a little cooler to the east. We're sitting in the lower 80s or so, and as we push west, getting into that 90-degree range. And tonight, we're not going to get much relief with a low of 69, so warming up quite a bit into tomorrow as well. So coming up in your full forecast, we'll talk about the allergy report, the warm temperatures, as well as our next chance of rain.
An 11-year-old was Arrested in Florida after authorities say the middle schooler threatened to carry out a school shooting. Investigations say they found airsoft rifles, pistols, and fake ammunition in the student's room. Volusia County Sheriff Mike Chitwood is warning against the threats like these, saying it cost his department thousands of dollars to investigate all threats, including ones that are fake. Also adding, quote, "Every time we make an arrest, your kid's photo is going to be put out there, and if I can do it, I'm going to walk your kid," end quote.
And this morning, the FBI searched the home of Ryan Wesley Ruth, the man who allegedly attempted to assassinate former President Donald Trump on Sunday. Ruth is charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and possession of a firearm with an obliterated serial number. If convicted of both charges, he would face a maximum of 20 years in prison.
Music entertainer Sean Diddy Combs is indicted on multiple federal counts, including sex trafficking. OU Nightly's Oliver Schaefer is following this and other national and international headlines from the News Center.
Sean Diddy Combs is accused of racketeering, sex trafficking, and interstate transportation for prostitution. He sat in court today pleading not guilty. Court documents allege Diddy forced victims to engage in sex acts with commercial sex workers.
Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them.
If he's convicted, prosecutors say he faces up to life in prison. At least 9 are dead and thousands are wounded after an attack targeting pagers held by members of the militant group Hezbollah. This video is very disturbing. 2,800 people are left injured, nearly 200 of those people in critical condition with injuries to their hands, abdomens, and faces. Hezbollah holds Israel responsible for these attacks. After an explosion at sea, we're seeing some of the first images of the Titan submersible sitting at the bottom of the ocean. Last year, 5 people on board died trying to look at the Titanic shipwreck. This photo was taken several hundred yards from the location of the Titanic. In Kentucky, Governor Andy Beshear says the search continues for the man police say shot multiple cars on I-75. 4 of the 5 people shot are now out of the hospital. Sophia, Chewy.
Thanks, Oliver. Coming up next, find out how you can register to vote.
And after that, we'll have our next Pet of the Week.
And welcome back to OU Nightly. Today is National Voter Registration Day. You can register online at vote.gov or at your county election board office.
In Oklahoma, the deadline for online, by mail, in-person voter registration is October 11th. Go to vote.gov to register to vote in your state or check your registration status. Election Day takes place on November 5th, and November polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
And if you are trying to find a pet to take home, look no further. This curious cat will sure tug at your heartstrings. OU Nightly's Savannah Simmons has more in this week's Pet of the Week.
From dogs to cats to even roosters, Norman Animal Welfare has them all and will certainly have the pet for you.
And she just loves people.
Calling all cat lovers because Abigail wants to be your new cuddle buddy.
She just wants to be pet. She'll rub up against you when you go to pet her, and then she'll ask you for more pets.
She's a 9-year-old domestic medium-haired cat who was brought in as a stray.
She's not rambunctious. She's not going to tear anything up. She just wants human companionship.
Manager at Norman Animal Welfare, Kelly Robertson, says Abigail has been in the shelter for more than 60 days and deserves to find a place to call home.
Yeah, Abigail is super sweet, and she tugged at my heart from the day that she came into the shelter.
Kelly says that Abigail is not the only animal needing a home, and that anyone who's interested should stop by the shelter.
And she is ready for adoption.
Thanks, Savannah. If you or someone you know is interested in Abigail or any of the other pets from Norman Animal Welfare, you can find their website on normanok.gov under the Resident and Visitor tab. You can also call the number call the center, of the number on your screen. It's never too late to help a pet in need. And a new program has taken flight at OU.
Hear who the School of Aviation has partnered up with after the break.
Also coming up in your full forecast, I'll go over today's allergy report and how warm we're going to be for the rest of the week. Stay tuned. Welcome back to OU Nightly and happy Tuesday, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Looking pretty sunny here on our Weather Center cam. A little bit deceiving this morning where we had some gloomy skies, but led to a lot of sunshine this afternoon and our temperatures in the upper 80s, expecting a high near 90 today. It feels like 90, so still feeling that hot weather sticking around. Our dew point's at 64 and our winds are out of the east-southeast at 8 miles per hour. And looking at temperatures throughout the metro, seeing some 80s, a few 90s. We're at 88 in Oklahoma City, and then some 90s in El Reno, Kingfisher at 92 right now. And a look at the whole state in general, we're cooler to the east, where we're in the mid to upper 80s, and we're pushing 90s as we go further to the west, 93 in Woodward and Guyman right now. And current wind speeds, again, similar story, calmer to the east, and then pushing 15 to 20 miles per hour as we go to the west. But again, 8 miles per hour right now in Norman, which is helping our allergies stick in the area. We have been talking about these all month, and lots of people have been sniffling, sneezing, feeling a little bit congested. Weeds are at that very high level right now. Trees high, mold and grass at that medium level. So keep the Kleenexes around, keep your allergy medication, because this is really the story sticking out throughout the rest of the week as well, because we're going to be hot and dry with a few windy days, but nothing too crazy. This evening, though, temperatures are going to be pretty steady in the mid 80s, dipping into the upper 70s into the overnight hours. So if you're planning to go out tonight, it's going to be still quite warm, and some outdoor plans are going to be quite nice as well, with some calm winds out of the southeast. Tomorrow, though, temperatures are going to feel a lot like they did today. We're going to start the day in the upper 70s, so maybe a little bit warmer than you saw this morning if you have a morning class tomorrow, getting into the 90s for the afternoon. So it's going to be hot once again. Stay hydrated. Make sure you see some shade if you're outside, but take a break from the heat tomorrow as you're going outside and about your day. Your futurecast is looking quite dry as well, so not brushing any of those allergies out of the area quite yet. Overnight, we're going to be pretty clear, and into tomorrow morning, similar story, maybe a few clouds here or there, and tomorrow afternoon and evening, looking pretty nice. A few showers throughout part of the state, but Norman isn't really going to be seeing any throughout the next couple of days. And Thursday morning looking quite nice as well, with those warm temperatures sticking around. Here's your 7-day forecast. 90s expected into this weekend. Sunday is that next chance for us to cool down just a little bit, and then Saturday and Sunday we've got really small chances of rain, but nothing crazy. So the state fair is this week, and the best day is probably looking to be Sunday, but we're going to be warm all week, guys.
Yeah, and I know it looks like some uneventful weather ahead of us. Yes. Are you going to head to the very eventful fair this weekend?
I have never been to the Oklahoma State Fair, so I think it would be a great thing to try. I'm not from around here, so It would be very cool to see that side of things.
Well, splendid. Thank you so much, Aiden.
Although, well, a new program at OU is training students to become helicopter pilots and learn their license. OU Nightly reporter Spencer Plato spoke to the owner about what she hopes her company accomplishes.
All right, starting up.
Semperfly helicopters calls Norman home now. It's a new partnership with OU School of Aviation. Brandy Rector is the founder and CEO. She says Oklahoma's aerospace industry is a hot market.
This is a good idea, and we can help change the industry and set a new standard for flight schools.
Through the program, students like Sawame Ellis attend weekly lectures and flight training. She says this program is a gateway to her dream job.
Search and rescue, potentially firefighting, and then EMS piloting. So they have good opportunities here, pipelines, so that you can do things like that, which a lot of places don't have.
Semperfly is the first helicopter training program in the SEC, and it's the only female veteran-owned helicopter business in the country.
I am enjoying the growth and the attention that it's coming on the female aspect of the industry.
While Semperfly has taken off on a smooth flight, Rector says the helicopter industry may experience turbulence in the near future.
I knew that there was a shortage with the helicopter pilots, and in the industry. I knew that there was a shortage. I knew there was problems with flight training in general and other flight schools and issues that, pilots were having with those flight schools.
Rector says the cost of training, COVID, and the marketing of flight school to a career creates challenges, but she hopes Semper Fi breaks the gaps for students like Ellis.
Being able to fly while in school is a dream come true for me. I wanted to do it and get my college education as well, so having both combined is a great opportunity, and I thought I was going to have to do it outside of college.
For OU Nightly, I'm Spencer Plato.
And Semper Fi's hopes to bring this industry-changing program to other flight schools in the near future.
And it's the first SEC conference matchup for OU football this Saturday.
Brooke, what's the Sooners' plan for when Tennessee trades Rocky Top for the Palace on the Prairie?
Head coach Brent Venables has a formula ready for OU DNA. And one Sooner star's actions pulled on the heartstrings of a business to take action. Hello, I'm Brooke Griggs, and it's time for sports. Oklahoma football makes their debut in the SEC this Saturday, and a game plan has been set that just means more.
We're going to play our best 4 quarters of football on Saturday night in all 3 phases. We've laid out a plan this week that allows us to do so. We got to work our butt off. We got to make sure that we get the plan down early in the week, and so that we can, fine tune that plan and the fundamentals, the physicality, the good on good work, and then you got to take, the player's responsibility, all those things that you learn, habits that you've developed and built upon throughout the course of the week, then you got to take that to game day.
Here's more on the gift that keeps on giving for the walk-ons at Oklahoma. Walk-On Sport Bistro showed their support for OU after matching the $50,000 that OU's sweetheart Danny Stutzman gifted his team. And Stutzman is getting ready to stunt on Tennessee, but that's what he tries to do every game. In his mind, one game is not more important than another, no matter what conference.
I don't think so. The mentality is already to try and win the game. So that them just setting the line like that, okay, now we have to win the game even more. I think that's kind of not really how you have to think about it. You have to go into every single game like it's the most important, because it kind of is, If we lose to Temple, it's a pretty important game. If you lose that one, I think every single game that you play here or there, it's huge. You got to win every opportunity you get.
Danny isn't the only lineman with a winning mindset. R. Mason Thomas was named Nagurski National Player of the Week after an SEC-worthy performance against Tulane. The junior is tied for an SEC high of 3 sacks and had his first forced fumble and recovery in his career, all taking place in the 4th quarter. And we can't forget about the offense. OU running back Gavin Sawchuk was chosen for the 2024 All-State AFCA Goodworks team. Not only that, Gavin was named a semifinalist for the All-State Warfel Trophy. He is one of 22 players to earn the recognition. And Oklahoma softball has added to their future roster. Ranked the 25th best recruit in the 2026 class by Softball America, pitcher Malaya Majum-Finch has verbally committed to OU. She is the niece of Olympic and silver gold medalist Jenny Finch. And OU's tennis revealed their secret weapons at the team's first tournament. Bruno Nievin and Oscar Lasides were on fire. The duo earned 2nd place in the wide draw of the tournament and were both undefeated until Sunday. Sophia, Chewy.
Thanks, Brooke. Coming up next, a runaway stray has found its home after spending days on the loose.
Hear where the unlikely animal is now after the break.
I'm Abigail Nickel with an update from Moore Police. After a lockdown at Southmore High School today, police say the threat harming students has no credibility. A similar threat was made last night to students at Moore High School. Police say the threats come from a Snapchat photo. It's the same photo going around a school in Ohio as well. Sophia, Chewy.
Thanks, Abigail. A runaway water buffalo has found its home in a wildlife sanctuary in Iowa. The buffalo named Phil was on the loose in Iowa for days before captured and shot by police. He survived, however, with only a bullet wound in his stomach and has been placed in his new home, having an easy recovery.
I mean, I just think that's so silly.
It
the
is
way it's just
adorable.
running around everywhere.
To give you guys a last look at the weather, we're looking to be pretty hot the next couple of days through Saturday, still looking to be in the 90s. And then as we go into next week, still being a little bit warm, but in the upper 80s. But the good thing is that Saturday football game, the first SEC game's a night game, so it should be a little bit nicer since it'll be later in the days. What I'm hoping for, are you guys excited?
I love it.
100%. I'm super
so
excited.
Are y'all going to the game?
Absolutely. I would not
We
sell my
have
ticket.
to, I feel like.
I'm scared.
I think I'm
As an
gonna-
OU student, it's your duty.
Yes.
yeah, for
This is
sure for
true.
this weekend.
All right, thank you guys so much. And thank you for watching OU Nightly. I'm Sophia Cabrera.
And be sure to watch OU Nightly live weekdays at 4:30. Good night.